Gluten-free. Did you know? Many people confuse the term gluten-free and low-carb. These are not the same things and should not be used interchangeably. Last year, Americans spent a record $2.6 billion on gluten-free diets. This is about the same amount that was spent on cat food by Americans. Only 8 to 12% of people who buy gluten-free foods actually have an intolerance to gluten. In comparison, 46% of people who purchased gluten-free products did so because they thought they were healthier. 30% of these people did so to manage weight problems. However, gluten-free diets tend to be higher in calories and lower in nutrient values. This causes a BMI increase, as seen in many celiac patients.
Can't eat bread, I can't eat dough, I can't eat crust to make my chest hair grow.
Gluten is a protein that's found in grains like wheat, rye, barley, and spelt. These are found in many common foods. A gluten-free diet eliminates foods that contain these and is often used for the treatment of celiac disease. In recent years, more people have been going on this diet for other reasons, including weight loss and treatment for autism. This diet's become very popular, being discussed on talk shows and promoted by many actresses such as Gwyneth Paltrow and Victoria Beckham. Grocery stores carry many gluten-free items such as pasta, crackers, and beer.
Through our own research, we were able to find 4 main reasons that people may choose to follow a gluten-free diet, the first being to lose weight. There are a lot of non-scholarly sites that believe this is an effective diet to become healthier, including losing weight, but we could not find any studies to support it being either effective or healthy. The second reason the diet is followed is to help manage the symptoms of autistic children. Some parents and doctors believe that a gluten-free diet helps autistic children by eliminating casein and gluten-containing foods. However, a study conducted by the University of Pittsburgh to see how a gluten-free diet affected autistic children produced results that were not in favor of a gluten-free diet for autistic children. The third reason is to manage psoriasis. According to the German Dermatological Society, a gluten-free diet can also be used to manage the skin condition. The most popular reason in scholarly studies and journals that we found people were on the diet was because of gluten sensitivities. Beginning the study, we thought that we would find gluten-free dieters mainly on the Geneseo campus. In order to obtain participants, we tried posting in the WhatsApp Digest, posting on Facebook, putting up posters, questioning at MJ Dining Hall, and contacting a nutritionist who was unable to give us details about his patients. We even asked to hand out surveys at Wegmans, but our request was declined. We did not receive any responses back through these methods. It was by talking to our family members that we were able to find some people on the diet. We were only able to find 4 people to fill out a survey to provide us with a little insight as to why people follow a gluten-free diet. 3 out of 4 people were in the age range of 40 to 50 and on the diet because of gluten sensitivities. However, a 10-year-old female began the diet when she was 8 years old and followed it on and off for 2 years. Her mother chose to put her on the gluten-free diet because she hoped it would help reduce her big belly and abdominal bloating. She went to the doctors and was tested for gluten intolerance, but the tests were negative. But her mother wanted to try the diet anyway. The girl did not experience any side effects from being on the diet. If anything, she became calmer than usual. The second participant is a 40-year-old female, and she began the diet a year ago. While consulting a doctor about her discomforting abdominal symptoms, she was told that she was not absorbing certain nutrients. Within a couple of days of trying the gluten-free diet, she felt the positive effects of her dietary change. Her symptoms were relieved. She continues to stick with the diet, but occasionally eats gluten-containing products. A 45-year-old male made the decision to go on a gluten-free diet in 2007. He chose to do so because he was suffering from many digestive problems, including gas and diarrhea. As a result of these problems, he decided to consult a naturopath. It was then that he discovered that he had a gluten sensitivity, which caused him to go on the gluten-free diet that he continues to follow today. The next participant on the gluten-free diet is a 50-year-old female. We interviewed her to get a more in-depth understanding of her reasons for being on the diet. You began following a gluten-free diet.
Probably around 8 years ago,
Okay. Why are you on a gluten-free diet?
because I had some health issues, and when I did some research, I discovered that you can have sensitivities to food that make this health concern worse. And then when I did a little experimentation, I found that I did get better without gluten.
Did you consult your doctor before changing your diet?
So I didn't ask my doctor for permission. I did talk to her about it, and she tested me for celiac just to make sure I didn't have that, and it was negative, but she was completely on board with me having a gluten-free diet.
Okay. Do you follow your diet strictly?
No, I don't. Um, I, I when I begin not to feel well, I adhere to it more strictly, but I certainly don't every day wake up and follow a gluten-free diet. I would say 5 out of 7 days.
Okay. So there was a study conducted in 1999 saying that enriched wheat, which contains gluten, is a main source of thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, iron, and folic acid. Those who are on the gluten-free diet lack the intake of these nutrients. Do you take any supplements or vitamins to compensate for eliminating these nutrients from your diet?
I do. I take a multivitamin, but once you look into it, you find that eating whole foods, other whole foods, whole grains, you can replace whatever has been added back into those stripped gluten products quite easily.
Do you feel better since being on the diet?
I do. The health issue that I had has certainly resolved itself. My doctor was surprised how quickly it resolved and has never returned, which is not something um, that is common
Okay.
with this kind of diagnosis.
So one more question. Do you find it's difficult to find gluten-free products?
It isn't so much as it used to be when I first started. You'd be surprised what gluten is in. I mean, who knew that there would be gluten in ketchup? So it was really difficult to find and identify those products with gluten. But now it's so sort of popular that you can find gluten-free products really readily, except that they're very expensive. So if you like bread, like a loaf of rice bread, costs about $6, and it's very small, as opposed to a $2 loaf of really big loaf of wheat bread.
Thank you. According to an article written earlier this year in Time magazine, a recent survey by market research firm Packaged Facts showed that only 8 to 12% of people who purchased gluten-free products did so because of gluten intolerance. Most simply, thought these products were healthier or of higher quality, or could help them manage their weight. With the rise in popularity of the gluten-free diet being used for reasons other than celiac disease, gluten-free foods have become more accessible. There is no doubt that the use of a gluten-free diet as a weight loss mechanism contributed to this happening. Food-providing companies like Wegmans and Price Chopper could no longer deny the large amounts of people that were willing and wanting to buy gluten-free products. Awareness of these products has increased so much that, according to the LA Times, they are also being used to make pet food. Although weight loss initially helped kick off the incorporation of gluten-free products into supermarkets, the recent discovery in its use to help manage gluten sensitivities has more than likely contributed to the companies retaining the products. Because finding Geneseo students, and young adults in general, proved to be very difficult, we decided to go at it from a different angle. By looking at chat forums online, and based on our survey results, we began to think that the gluten-free diet is no longer a fad diet, but instead mainly used to manage gluten sensitivities. To further support this, we had Geneseo students fill out a questionnaire that had 2 questions. 1. Have you ever heard of the gluten-free diet for people without celiac disease? And 2. Do you know a Geneseo student on the diet that does not have celiac disease? We had 25 students fill out the questionnaire, and of the 25, all had heard of the diet, but 0 knew anyone at Geneseo on the diet. Due to the lack of scientific research on gluten-free diets being used for weight loss, and because we could not find Geneseo students or other younger adults on the diet for this purpose, we can only conclude that the gluten-free diet is no longer considered a fad diet, but has rather progressed, becoming very useful and treating gluten sensitivities.
1, 2, 3, 4.